Now, if you track with the channel, of course you know that we play a lot of PlayLink games on the PlayStation 4. These are great because you use your smartphone, your tablet, your iPod Touch to interact with a quiz game or mini games. Each of them are different, but they each involve lots of family members. We have played Knowledge is Power, we have played That's You, we have played Frantics and had a lot of fun. But today I want to look at two brand new games for PlayLink, Knowledge is Power Decades and Chimp Party. So starting with Knowledge is Power Decades, this takes that same Knowledge is Power quiz game format, but gives it a pop culture and entertainment twist from the last 4 decades. As you can see, a big part of the fun is getting your character set up on screen. It does an AR face recognition and creates this little avatar around your face. The boys found very funny. And of course, getting mum and dad in on that action is popular as well. Once you've done that, those are the characters that track through the game, and that's how you determine how you're doing. Of course, then it's on to the questions. Now, these questions will vary depending on the decade that you vote for when you go in. And obviously the kids, I think, in our family voted for more recent decades, whereas I was keen to go for the 80s and the 90s. Then each of you on your smartphone pick the answer you think it is. The quicker you are to answer, the more points you score. So there we are. 3 of us got Justin Timberlake right. Somebody else picked Bruno Mars. Who was that? But the fastest ones get the most points. There are also other special rounds, like this swiping left and right. You have to categorise these answers as quick as you can into Martin Scorsese films or 90s hip-hop artists. And this was really nice because even if you didn't know the exact answer, you still had a 50-50 chance of getting it right. So a bit of a nice leveller in the family. At the end of that round, the person who's answered the quickest and answered the most gets that highest score. But a key part of the tactics in Knowledge is Power Decades is the power plays, where you can either hinder or help different players by targeting them. You can make it harder for them to see the answers, so they have to do something to their screen before they can pick their answer, and obviously it slows them down. Or you can award more points for a particular round. Then at the end of the game, you all have to scale a pyramid. Depending on how many points determines how far up that pyramid you start. But it means that even if you've done really badly through the rounds of the game, you've got a real chance of catching up at the end. You can see us all tapping away here to get the answers. Who's going to win this? I think it looks like... Who's it going to be? Oh, yes, it's Tom. Well done.
And never forget the wondrous power of knowledge.
So the next PlayLink game I want to look at is Chimp Party. This is up to 4 players, but in the same way as Knowledge is Power and the other PlayLink games here, you can see you play with your smartphone controller. So you can play different modes, but the favourite in our family was this board game mode. So you'll work your way through this board game, but each square you land on has a little mini game, and each of the mini games are really nice, really well planned, and they use your smartphones in interactive ways. So you can see here we have to hit those coconuts, grab them, and then jump and get that into that basketball net. There's a few ways to do that. You can fart as you go, which gets you higher into the air. You can also hit on that drum, and you can steal each other's coconuts. So it's a real kind of hectic, frantic, competitive game that various ages in the family really enjoyed. But as you go through the board game, there are loads of these different challenges to take on. A nice touch here is that if you're the trailing player, you're the one that gets to roll, and so then you advance. So actually being behind is a nice leveller, so even the younger members of the family felt that they were involved and had a chance of winning. There's also a nice collaborative element to a lot of the levels, like this bumper battle here. 2 players control the paddle on the left and the right, and one is up and one is down. So you have to communicate to say who's going up and who's going down so that you can get that ball going back towards your competitors. And in the family, we had a lot of fun here because it's not only about who's got the fastest reactions, but it's who's listening and who's speaking to each other. And as you can see, the boys got really competitive, but we had to work together as teams to actually progress. Oh, give off that plant.
Down.
Yes! Oh, they got it!
Top.
Go!
What's that bound? brilliant. This was
Other levels offered more of a challenger skill, like here where you have to judge the trajectory of your jumping chimpanzee by pressing the button on your smartphone, and then you have to assist his flight by farting him through the air so that you either land on the bounce pads or collect bananas or hit environmental objects to get further and further. So there's that nice combination of accessibility for younger players, but also the older kids in our family appreciated that there was real skill involved in this challenge too. So there you go, that's another 2 PlayLink games on PlayStation 4. To play them, you just need a smartphone, a tablet or an iPod Touch to connect to your PlayStation 4. You need one for each player. And of course you need to buy the game on your system as well. But it's a great way to extend the fun into more players of the family without the need to buy more controllers. And so we had Knowledge is Power Decades, which is a nice quiz battle, I think, for all ages of the family. And that's one I think that Mum and Dad will enjoy particularly as well. And also Chimp Party, which adds to the sort of mini-game mayhem with a board game theme, a little bit like Frantics. Speaking of Frantics, that's well worth a look in its own right as well. And for us, still a real favourite we keep coming back to is That's You. So let us know which of these PlayLink games you think would be the best fit for your family in the comments.